Thank you. Good morning. I'm Councillor Sam Forsyth and I'll be chairing this hearing of Subcommittee C of the Licensing and Public Protection Committee of Birmingham City Council. Before we begin, could I invite everybody please to mute their microphones for a moment so we can improve the sound quality whilst I outline the procedure. Could I also ask please that you turn off your cameras unless you are the person speaking. This is to reduce the bandwidth. Thank you. Could I ask everybody who's attending today's hearing to please put their mobile phones and any other electronic devices on silent and ensure as far as possible you're in a room or environment which is free from any distraction or any unnecessary noise. I'm speaking quite slowly and clearly, so hopefully everybody can follow. It is vitally important, for what I hope are obvious reasons, that those attending this meeting and making submissions and representations are able to hear me and members of my subcommittee and officers. Any distractions brought to my attention could result in the meeting being suspended temporarily or to another date and time under the regulations for these types of meetings. I also confirm that this is a public meeting and it is being live streamed on the City Council's website. Could I also advise everybody, members of the press and or public, may record and take photographs except where there are any confidential or exempt items. Could I remind all members that they must declare all relevant pecuniary and other registrable interests arising from any business to be discussed at this meeting? Can I indicate at this stage that I declare a non-pecuniary interest in this meeting in a professional capacity? I know the barrister, Mr. Craig, who is representing the applicant, the licence holder, forgive me, in this particular hearing. Does anybody else have any other interests to declare? No, thank you. In respect of this meeting, apologies were submitted on behalf of Councillor Iqbal and Councillor Wagg, and we have as nominated substitute members Councillor Donaldson and Councillor Knowles. Can we note the public parts of the minutes of the meeting held on the 11th of January of this year, please, at 10 o'clock, and confirm and sign those minutes as a whole?
Agreed, Chair.
Thank you. Can I welcome you to this hearing for a review in respect of SAT Convenience Store, 29 Hunters Road, Lozales in Birmingham, B19 1DP. I will begin with some introductions. As I say, my name is Councillor Sam Forsyth and I will chair this meeting. With me are other members of the subcommittee, Councillor Diane Donaldson and Councillor Izzy Knowles.
Good morning, Chair.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chair.
Good morning. Also present in this meeting are the following officers. We have the licensing officer, Mr. Kennedy. Good morning.
Good morning, Chair.
We also have the committee manager, Ms. Townsend. Good morning.
Good morning, Chair.
And the committee lawyer, Ms. Swampali. Good morning.
Good morning, Chair.
Could I ask all parties to identify themselves, please? Firstly, the applicant. We have Mr. Ellison, Paul Ellison.
Good morning, Chair. Paul Ellison from Trading Standards.
Thank you. Next, we have the licence holder and their representative. We have Mr. Craig, my lead friend Mr. Craig, who's representing the premises licence holder. Good morning.
Good morning, Chair. Just one thing I need to warn everybody about. So I'm not with my client now because after 2 months of waiting, I'm getting internet installed today. Inevitably, they were due this afternoon and they've turned up this morning. So He's here now. I've told him not to drill without my consent. So, but if you hear some noise in the background, I apologise. That's just unavoidable. But good morning, everybody.
Good
My
morning.
client is here, but not with me.
Right. Do
Mr.
you have a
Mr.
method of communication with your client? So if there's any difficulties, you two can communicate.
He has somebody with him who is going to be translating from his English isn't brilliant, and I have that person's number, but I've only just been given it. So perhaps while you're doing the preamble, Chair, I'll just make contact.
Thank you. Can you let me know what the language is?
I believe it's Eritrean, but I'll just get that confirmed. If that could be texted to me, please, I'll confirm that, Chair.
Thank you. And could you also give me the name of the interpreter, please?
I can. Give me a second. It's Chichine, which is CHICHINE.
Right. Could I just ask you to repeat that again slowly, please, so a note can be made in the minutes.
Forgive me. Charlie Hotel Indigo. Charlie Hotel Indigo. New word. November. Forgot what it was then. Echo.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. Do we have the interpreter? Mr. Ashmalash, could you introduce yourself and your interpreter, please? Could the interpreter do the introductions, please?
Good morning.
Could I just ask you to put your camera on briefly, please?
Okay. Yeah. Good morning. My name is Tasfa Asmalash.
Thank you. And do you have an interpreter with you?
Yeah, my interpreter is not Nile.
Is your interpreter sat with you?
Yeah.
Could we just ask to see him, please?
All right.
Thank you. Good morning. Could you just confirm your name, please, sir?
My name is Natnael Abraham Chichi.
Thank you. And the language is?
Tigrinya.
Forgive me.
Tigrinya is Eritrean language. It's called Tigrinya.
And can you just confirm that you've had an opportunity to speak to Mr. Ashmalash this morning and you both understand each other?
Oh, yes, 100%. Yeah, I have spoke to him.
Thank you.
Okay.
Could I just ask you to mute your microphone, please? As we have an interpreter, I'll be taking the matters quite slowly. Could I ask at this stage if any person making representations wishes to withdraw their representations?
No, Chair, I don't wish to withdraw the representations.
Thank you. I'm going to assume that all parties have read and understood the Licensing Committee's procedural rules. They were sent out today with a copy with a notice of today's hearing. Please note that given the nature of today's proceedings, I may at my discretion amend those procedural rules to reflect the fact that this meeting is taking place online. But I wish to assure you that any such amendments will not impact on the parties' right to a fair hearing. Mr. Ashmalash, could I just ask you to put your camera back on for a moment?
Okay.
Thank you. I just want to check that you and your interpreter are following what is being said. Can you confirm?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. If you'd like to mute yourself, please. Thank you. We will be using the chat function in Microsoft's Teams to communicate. I hope everyone is familiar with the chat function. You'll find it on the top of the toolbar on top of your screen. Could I ask everyone at this stage, please, to confirm that you have access to that chat facility by typing in your own name, and officers will also type their job title. We'll not proceed until everyone's done so. And could I ask Mr. Ashmanash if your interpreter could do the same as well, please?
Excuse me, Chair, it's Paul Elson, Trading Standards. I don't have access to that technical function, I'm afraid.
Thank you for letting us know.
I think we're having the same problem as well. We don't have access to it because I'm not getting any.
Thank you. I'm just going to pause. If you, Mr. Ashmanash and Mr. Checkney, if you just like to put yourself on mute for a moment, and just, you're being represented by Mr. Craig still at this stage. If you two just like to communicate with Mr. Craig so we can ensure that we have a flow of information. And I'll just pause for a moment while you do that.
Chair, could I just let Mr. Abraham and Mr. Ashmanash know that I've sent Mr. Abraham, Mr. Chichi, I've sent him a WhatsApp message, and so he should have my number now.
Thank you. I'll just give you two a moment, you three a moment, just to communicate by WhatsApp. And then, Mr. Craig, could I just ask you to confirm in the chat that that's been done, please?
Yes, I think I'm being called, actually. But
please put
could you
yourself,
message me, please, Mr. Abraham? Could you message me, not call me?
Please put yourself on silent while you do that, and then you can just confirm in the chat.
Yes, I just needed to let Mr. Abraham know while he was calling me. That was all today. But I'll turn my mic up now.
Thank you for doing that. Could I ask if anyone has any preliminary points to raise at this stage? Could I ask you to indicate if you have any preliminary points by typing the word speak in the chat function or using the raise a hand function now? Thank you. Mr. Elson, can I just raise a preliminary point, please?
Yes, of course you can. Yeah.
Thank you. Could you confirm if there is a pending prosecution in this case, or whether there are any plans in respect of any enforcement, any other enforcement action in this matter?
There is a pending ongoing prosecution, yes. Whether that will be a caution or a prosecution, I can't tell that, but yes, there is a separate investigation running alongside this review.
Thank you. And as a result of that, is there any application that you wish to make in respect of any part of today's hearing?
No.
This
No,
matter
Chair.
at the moment is being heard in public.
No, not at all, Chair. All I will do is indicate what happened on the particular day, refer to the licence and make recommendations. The actual criminal investigation is completely separate and I won't touch on that.
Thank you. Mr. Craig,
Yes, Chair.
do you have any application that you wish to make in respect of any of this procedure today, bearing in mind, as we've just been informed, that there is a pending prosecution? This matter at the moment is being heard in public.
Well, my interpretation of what Mr. Elson said is it's not necessarily a pending prosecution, but there may be some proceedings that follow. Given what Mr. Elson said about not touching on any of that, I mean, no, I would normally. I mean, sometimes it's best to be cautious in these circumstances, but I think given the circumstances, I don't see it as necessary that the meeting isn't held. The meeting is held privately. No, I don't see the need for that.
Thank you. Do you want any time just to consult with your lay client in respect of that matter to take instructions?
Yes, I would appreciate that, Chair. If I could just have 5 minutes, maybe not even then, I'll make a call and speak to the interpreter now.
Thank you. What I propose that we do, we'll pause this meeting temporarily so to allow you to take instructions on that point. And I'm going to invite all the committee members together with the officers. We will go back into a private session whilst you just take 5 minutes to do that. It's 18 minutes past 10 according to my clock. We will resume this meeting at 10:25 to allow you. I'm conscious that there is an interpreter and that always takes longer to take instructions. So we'll resume this meeting at 10:25. And if I can ask all the committee members to come back into the pre-meeting, please. Thank you. Mr. Craig, have you had an opportunity to take instructions from your lay client with the assistance of the interpreter?
I have, Chair, and I've explained the situation to him, and I am instructed to ask that the hearing be held in private. I mean, we don't know what direction this is going to go. As I said, I mean, it wasn't my client that made the sale, actually, but I think for an abundance of caution, it would be perhaps sensible, given the indication from trading standards, to hold the meeting in private. So yes, I make that application.
Thank you. Mr. Elson?
Yes, Chair, I'm in agreement with that. As I said, I will be reading some names out. So yes, I agree with Mr. Craig. That would be more appropriate, I believe.
Thank you. I'm now going to consider that application together with members of the subcommittee and officers. Whilst we do that, I'm going to ask that the live stream is paused, and if the officers and other committee members can join me in the private meeting while we just consider that application. So if live streaming could be paused, please, and we'll resume again momentarily. Thank you. Thank you. Can I indicate at this stage, having heard the application that has been made by the legal representative, Mr. Craig, which is supported by trading standards, this hearing will go into private session after we have heard the report from the licensing officer, Mr. Kennedy. I'm going in a few moments to ask Mr. Kennedy to present that report, but can I just outline the procedure? We will hear Mr. Kennedy's report in public, and that will be live streamed. Thereafter, this committee will go into private session to hear the rest of submissions that are going to be made. Parties should await an invitation from the committee manager for that private part of this session. So we will hear the report. Thereafter, there will be a pause momentarily while invitations are issued and the live stream is stopped. So could I ask Mr. Kennedy, please, to present his report. Thereafter, we will stop and people will rejoin the hearing with the invitations that Ms. Townsend will issue to everybody. Thank you. Mr. Kennedy, could I ask you to present your report? Could I please ask you to be mindful that the applicant has an interpreter with him, and could I ask you to speak as slowly and as clearly as you can? If there are any difficulties with the interpreter, I'm going to ask that the interpreter use the WhatsApp facility just to alert us, and if necessary, we will stop for a moment.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Kennedy. If you could keep your submissions to approximately 20 minutes or so. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. The Chief Inspector of Weights and Measures applied on the 5th of January 2023 for a review of the premises licence granted in respect of SAT Convenience Store 29 Hunters Road, Lascelles, Birmingham, B19 1DP. The review application is attached at Appendix 1. The current premises licence is attached at Appendix 2, and site location plans are attached at Appendix 3. The licence holder's legal representative has submitted a supporting evidence bundle which has been disclosed to members in advance of the hearing and which are published at pages 33 to 40 of the agenda pack. When carrying out its licensing functions, a licensing authority must have regard to Bury City Council's Statement of Licensing Policy and the guidance issued by the Secretary of State under Section 182 of the Act. The licensing authority is also required to take such steps as it considers appropriate for the promotion of the 4 licensing objectives. The options available to the committee today are to modify the conditions of licence, exclude a licensable activity from the scope of the licence, remove the designated premises supervisor, suspend the licence for a period not exceeding 3 months, revoke the licence or take no action. Where the authority takes a step to modify conditions or exclude a licensable activity, it may provide that the modification or exclusion is to have effect for only such period not exceeding 3 months as it may specify. Thank you, Chair. Just to confirm whilst we're on the live stream, Chair, there is another agenda item on this morning's hearing, agenda item 6, which we will reconvene back in public once this matter has been heard.
We will do.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you. We are now going to go into private session. As I indicated before, Mr. Kennedy presented his report. Invitations are being sent out to all the parties. Could I ask you to rejoin this hearing using those invitations, please? And at the end of the private session, we will come back into the public domain and I will ask for the live stream to be restarted. But if the live stream could be paused now, and if everybody could leave this meeting and use the invitations that are going to be sent out to the parties. Thank you. Thank you. We're now going to deal with agenda item 6 that we have to deal with this morning. Could I ask, please, that Mr. Kennedy presents the report in relation to agenda item number 6?
Thank you, Chair. Stonegate Group, on behalf of the Craft Union Pub Limited, submitted an application for the variation of a licensed premises gaming machine permit in respect of the 12th Man, 17 Hollies Croft, Edgbaston, Birmingham, B5 7QN. This is a non-invite report as there are no objections to the application, so no parties will be joining the meeting. The reason for the report being presented to the subcommittee today is due to officers only having delegated authority to grant permits in respect of up to 4 gaming machines, category C and D, in an alcohol licensed premises. As this application seeks to have permission to operate a total of 5 category C gaming machines at the premises, the application currently has to be referred to a subcommittee for determination. The application is attached to Appendix 1. Birmingham City Council's licensing enforcement team visited the premises and confirmed that they have no objections to the application. Their confirmation is attached to Appendix 2. Gaming machine categories by maximum stake and maximum prizes available are shown at Appendix 3. Site location plans are at Appendix 4. Where an application for a licensed gaming machine permit is made, the licensing authority shall consider if having regard to the 3 licensing objectives, any relevant guidance issued by the Commission under Section 25, and such other matters as they think relevant. The options available to the committee today are to grant the application, to refuse the application, or to grant the application in respect of either a smaller number of machines than is specified in the application, a different category of machines from that specified in the application, or both. However, a licensing authority may not refuse an application or grant it in respect of a different category or number of gaming machines without first notifying the applicant and giving the applicant an opportunity to make representations either in written or oral form or both. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Kennedy. Do members have any questions in relation to this report? Councillor Donaldson, Councillor Knowles?
No, Chair.
I just wondered, does it say what type of gaming machine that they're wanting to have? Because I see there's difference in the amount of the prize money available.
Yeah, yes, Councillor Knowles. The application, the current permit permits 4 category C machines, which are £1 stake, maximum £100 payout. They're seeking a 5th of the same category machine, so a maximum stake of £1 and maximum payout of £500.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any other questions? No? Thank you. Thank you for that. The members, the committee lawyer and the committee manager, we will go into private session whilst we consider our decision in relation to this particular application in respect of the gaming machine permit for the 12th Man in Edgbaston. Can I also indicate as well, so it's a matter of public record, we will also go into private session to consider the application that was made in respect of the premises SAT convenience store in Lozelles in Birmingham as well. Can I thank everybody this morning for their participation and their assistance during this hearing, and we will now go into private session. Good morning.